Students in a college algebra class were given an exam about matrices. Sound familiar? During the next 3 years, the same students were retested several times. Think about that for a second. Do you want me to come back and test you over matrices over the next 3 years? The average score was given by the model f of t equal to 92 minus 16 log of t plus 1, where 0 less than or equal to t less than or equal to 36, where t is the time in months, so t is time in months, and we're being asked to round to the nearest tenth. And it says the average score was given by this model, so it equals, which means that f of t is our average score. Those are the two things that we're talking about. So we labeled our variables. It says, what is the average score? So they're looking for f of t on the original exam. How much time has passed on the original exam? That's the original, that's our starting point, which means that t is 0. So finding f of 0 means that we are going to plug 0 in every time we see a t. 92 minus 16 log of t, but t is going to become 0, plus 1. This gets us 92 minus 16 log of 1. And let's say you don't remember that log of 1 is 0. I really hope that you remember that. But let's say that you don't. If you don't, come back and we can plug this into our calculator. So we would have 92 minus 16, and we're going to use log. You cannot switch it up to natural log. You have to use what they give you in the problem of 1. We wind up getting 92. And back to our work, the reason for that, 92 minus 0, because 16 times 0 is 0, gets us 92. So the average score on the original exam is 92. And you can also double check to make sure that the log of 1 is 0, or you can even check that the 16 log of 1 is 0. And that is again because log of 1 gets us 0. It's one of those log properties you were asked to memorize. Okay. Next one, what was the average score? So they're again looking for f of t after 12 months, which means that this time t is 12. So plugging in, we need to find f of 12, plugging 12 in every time we see a t. We're going to have 92 minus 16 log of 12 instead of t plus 1. I'm going to do one more line of work before we use our calculator. So 92 minus 16 log of 13, because it will be slightly nicer to put into the calculator. So going back, I'm going to have 92 minus 16. I'm going to get my log function of 13. And that gets us 74.1769. But if you remember, we were told to round our answers to the nearest tenth. Remember, tenth is 1 decimal place. So we look at the second decimal place, the hundredths. The 7 is enough to round us up. So we're going to say that our average score after 12 months is 74.2 because the 7 rounds the 1 up to a 2. Last one in this problem. After how many months, so they want us to find T, does the average score drop below 70? So average score is equal to 70. So this time, instead of plugging in for T, we are going to plug in for f of T, which means that we are going to have 92 minus 16 log of T plus 1. We're going to set that equal to the 70 because we're taking our equation, replacing y, or f of t, with 70, and we need to solve for t. Always keep in mind the end game. We are solving for t. So we need to get the log part alone, and we know we have a log equation because it says the word log. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract the 92 from both sides of my equation. Don't drop your negative on the 16. So we have negative 16 log of t plus 1 is equal to negative 22. We don't have the log by itself yet. We need to get rid of that 16. It's negative 16 times log, so we need to divide both sides by negative 16. And we have log of t plus 1 equal to, and when you plug this into your calculator, we have negative 22 divided by negative 16. Don't use the decimal. Convert back to a fraction, especially if that decimal keeps going and going and going. And notice that we get 11 over 8. Now we have a log equation, because we see the word log, equal to a number. So we're going to use our exponential properties to rewrite our equation and get rid of the log. Remember that common log, or log without a base written, not natural log, winds up being log base 10. So we have log base 10 of t plus 1 equal to 11 over 8. And remember that when you are trying to get rid of your log by writing it in exponential form, you're going to use that Spider-Man property. Spidey, swing up. We're going to have t plus 1 equal to 10 to the 11 over 8. And you could put parentheses around that exponent if you'd like. One more step, we need to get t by itself, which means that we need to subtract 1 from both sides. And we find out that t is equal to 10 to the 11 over 8. The 11 over 8 is our exponent, minus 1. So let's go ahead and plug that guy in. We said t was equal to 10, and we need the exponent. I'm going to do a parenthesis, 11 divided by 8. Press over, close my parenthesis. Need to come down out of the exponent, so I'm going to press over, subtract 1, and we wind up with t equal to 22.7137. Rounding to the nearest tenth means that we need to look at the second decimal place. That's a 1. That's not enough to round us. So we get that the average score drops below 70. After t equal to 22.7 months. Our answer is 22.7 because we did not have enough to round us up.